right, Sven, should we get started?
Yes, hello everybody.
Hi, Sven. Welcome to the Frankfurt Conference 2021. This is the academic track today, and we're so glad that you've joined us. I'm going to let Sven say a few introductory words, and then I will introduce myself and give you all a quick overview of how we're going to run the day and all of the opportunities that you have to interact. So first, Sven, over to you.
Thanks, Anna, and thank you all for joining today's Frankfurt Academic, which is kind of the second conference in this format after one in December, I guess, right, last year. My name is Sven Fund. I'm General Manager Publisher Relations at ResearchGate, and together with Hannah, I'm guiding you through today's program. Today, we are gathering speakers with very different backgrounds and expertise from all over the world. So it's a little bit like Frankfurt Book Fair, just digital, I hope at least. And while our speakers in the US are just having their morning coffee, Danny in Australia is hopefully preparing for a good glass of red wine already. Here in Europe, we just had lunch. So welcome to over 100 people from a number of countries around the world. You're all taking time today. Thanks a lot for that. The idea is to give you an update of where our industry stands after 18 months of not really meeting in person with the global pandemic, and which impact this pandemic really had on our business, if any. When Frankfurt Book Fair asked me to come up with a program for this event together with Hannah, we were looking for something less boring and more exciting than many other online conferences. So we wanted to find a format which feels a little bit like the book fair. And I'm not saying that I like 100% of the feeling of a stressful fair, but what we are I've tried to do for today is something which is fast, which is diverse and international, and really the vantage point of how many of us will define and see the industry over the next months. Today's Frankfurt Academic tries nothing less than all of that basically in one bucket. 10 renowned speakers, each of them colleagues with a very special business acumen, and all of them sharing and focusing on a specific topic. They have 9 minutes each. You can imagine what that means in academic publishing. And they will discuss an edgy, important, and I hope provocative topic. Please do not expect kind of lengthy introductions or company presentations. That's what you have the internet for. So it's all around you. Just make sure that you basically stay focused on the topic. The chat will provide you, and I think Hannah will show you a little bit more about that, and also the questions and answers section, a very quick intro. So please make sure that the questions you want to ask, you type into the boxes already so that we can ask them later on. We only have 3 minutes, so this is a very German regime, I'm afraid. So let's make sure that we make most of it. After the presentations at 5:30 today, Richard Sharkin will reflect on what we will be hearing today and what he, as somebody who is around for decades in the industry, what he has learned from this presentation. I'm very much looking forward to that, and I hope that we will have a lively conversation at the Hof afterwards. Finally, what would a book fair be really without these kind of notorious evening events, right? We don't have them in real life, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure we'll make up for it as much as we can. This event would obviously not be possible without a whole group of people behind the scenes. You can imagine that there's a lot of technology ongoing. Liz, Hap, Felix Seltner, the whole team of Frankfurt Book Fair is helping us, and we are really looking forward to a lively debate. I would also like to mention that the Charleston Conference has been co-sponsoring 2 of the events, 2 of the presentations today. Make sure to look at their program as well, which will be running in early November. And yeah, very much looking forward and see what Charleston has to present after Frankfurt. So an interesting competition around programming, I guess. That's what I wanted to say. So Hannah, I think over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Sven. It's a pleasure to be working with you again on a conference. As Sven said, we did one in December last year, which was really interesting. And I really enjoy working on academic conferences because the audience is very engaged and lively, and we hope that you will use the chat to post your comments and your thoughts and feedback. If you have questions, there are buttons down below on your screen for the chat and for the Q&A, so please do put your questions in during the presentations. Sven and I will keep an eye on the Q&A, and when we get to our short little Q&A session, we'll make sure to scroll through and put as many questions to our speakers as we can. We are in a tight timeline, but I think this is going to be a fun event. We're looking forward to having a lot of speakers, quick thoughts, sort of a rapid fire way to get to know the academic industry and what's really shaping it today. And I want to thank you for joining us online. I think we've all found that it takes a little more effort to connect with each other online, and it's not an easy time, but we're really excited to have you here, and I hope that you do join us at the end of the session, as Sven said, for our HOF networking event with Richard Charkin. We'll have breakout sessions. You can interact with each other, discuss what you've heard in the event, maybe make some new connections. If you're in Europe, you can bring your own cocktail. If you're in the US, you bring something else, unless you want to start day drinking. We won't say anything about that. It is Frankfurt after all. So yeah, I think that is it from my end. But again, we're really happy to join you, and thank you for coming on. We've got another 5 minutes before our first speaker comes on, but Sven, maybe do you want to say a little bit about what you're doing at ResearchGate and maybe some of the trends that you wanted to address in the conference, what people can expect coming up?
Sure. So what I found really interesting when you got in touch, Hannah, is that it seems sometimes that there's not so much changing in our industry despite a pandemic. So it must be a pretty resilient place. But as soon as you start private conversations with people about this, it seems that still a lot obviously has changed. So how we work, how we communicate, how we go to conferences, how we acquire content, how sales works, and obviously also how technology can help, has to help, or has been also a roadblock in some cases for this. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I think when I started thinking about the program, the idea was really to kind of zoom in a little bit. First of all, say from people like Claudio, who will speak in a minute, how did this whole market or ecosystem or whatever you want to call it, how did that change, if it changed at all? And what can we do as publishers to address this better going forward? I'm obviously convinced, but that is a kind of dysfunctional background that I have, that technology can help, that openness in publishing, open science and open access can help. But I'm pretty sure there are also other concepts, and I'm really looking forward to hearing them and seeing what colleagues from around the world think. And I think it's also interesting that different regions of the world, probably as the last idea about this, different regions of the world have been impacted very differently by what has happened over the last 18 months. And I would really like to see whether that is just a feeling that I'm deriving from other sources or whether that's really true. So in that respect, it's important, I think, that we come together and have this conversation to see whether the UK, the US, Colombia and Japan, which I saw, are impacted in the same way, in different ways, and how we can address that.
Well, and we've asked our speakers to sort of take a position on some statements or questions, which I think should also be quite interesting. Hearing people pick a side, and maybe in the chat, if you have differing opinions or you want to add your opinion, please do. We wanted to make this interactive and more of a discussion and a dialogue, despite the speedy timeline that we are under, but hopefully that makes it more exciting for you at home or in your office or wherever you are to watch the event.
I can't wait.
Me either. I'm very excited.